Yeah.
and
Okay.
dynamic.
We're
response
recording
and
now.
all that sort of stuff. So, all
Yeah.
right. So I'm here to bring you guys up to speed on how to make money at the tax auctions. Right now, you obviously, because you went to the real estate seminar where we met, right? So you understand the power of real estate, right? And so, do you know why people should be investing in real estate?
Absolutely, I've already invested.
So do you own? What do you own?
I just sold my rental in Orange County, and
Okay.
then I invest like a 2 projects last week out
Okay.
of states. Like one is in Raleigh, the other one is in Orlando. They're both like a syndication project, a multifamily. One is 270 units, the other is 278.
Wow, it's a big project.
Yeah,
So that's
they're-
great.
Yeah, over 2 projects plus together, I think the overall value is 99 million.
That's huge.
Yeah, but I'm just invest a small portion of
Right.
it.
Well, you're
Yeah,
You're
I'm a
part,
passive
part
investor.
of the fund. Part of the fund.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, great. And so you understand the power of real estate. And the answer is really simple. The answer that I'm looking for is literally every wealth portfolio has real estate in it,
Yeah.
and it's because of all of the benefits. You know, it's simple for the most part, and you know, there's tax benefits, and it's real. And because all these, you know, people are constantly coming to us and saying, "Oh, you want to invest in this and want to invest in this," but it's like it's not really real, or it's
Yeah.
it's in its.
I like the words tangible.
Yeah, it is. Well, you can touch it. You touch it. That's why they call it real estate. And so, when you go shopping, do you like to buy things retail, wholesale, or below wholesale?
Below wholesale.
Below wholesale, right? If it's possible. Most people don't even realize that
Right.
below retail.
Is there such a thing for like clothes and stuff?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah, like a discount, you know.
If you buy
like,
massive
like
amounts
a
of it,
liquidation.
Oh, really?
Imagine, right?
Oh,
if,
yeah.
You're right, if it's worth 10, then
Yeah.
when people are liquidating, they're only selling for 5 or less than 5.
Wow, that's
Just
crazy.
dump it, you know.
Yeah.
or if you buy wholesale, but you buy massive quantities, then oftentimes you can get below wholesale. So now, real estate, most people interact either in a retail or a wholesale, and so what we're going to talk about is
Hotel.
Below
I just
wholesale.
heard the words recently. You know, hotel?
Hotel.
Yeah. Wholesale plus retail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right. So when we go to the tax auctions, we participate. Now, have you ever participated at the tax auctions? You know.
No, only auction I've been participating is the antique vintage stuff auction.
Got it.
I've done car auction. I bought my first Prius from a car
Oh,
auction.
I went
Okay.
one as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, auctions is a good way of getting a good deal. There's what's called auction theory. And auction theory is whatever it sells at will be market price, right? So it's market or possibly a little bit below, but there's no markup in the process. And that's why people go to auctions in order to get a deal, because that whole retail thing is
Nice.
eliminated, right?
Yeah.
Or
So
I think
usually
you
you're-
also have to know what you're doing, right?
Yeah, but you're getting it. You know,
Overpaid.
you can get a car for $2,000 or $3,000 less because that whole markup that they're, you know. But that's where all the car dealers get them from, right? And so, with reference to the tax auctions, what we do is, you know, auction theory says all of the properties should sell at market value, but that's not the case because there's so many properties and only a handful of investors, and we can only buy so much. And that's part of the reason why we invite people to invest with us. Number one, because the majority of people don't know how the tax auctions work. They don't
Right.
understand. And if people do go to the tax auction, it either moves so fast or there's so much going on, they don't get it and they totally dismiss it.
They need to prepare.
You
They need to know
always have to be
Absolutely.
prepared,
Yeah.
or you need to be working with people, and you need to be working with people that know what the hell they're doing, right? And so that's what that's why I'm involved, and that's why I'm bringing you up to speed, was because that's what we do is we teach people how to win at the auctions, following a system what we already have in place. It's not like it's a turnkey system. It's just we work together, and we've done all the we work auction after auction after auction after auction, and so we collect enough information. And so the goal is for us to be able to buy properties at between 10 and 30 cents on a dollar. If you could buy properties at 30 cents on the dollar, would that be a good thing? Be a
Wow,
great thing.
yeah.
Right. What about 10 cents? Right.
That's even better.
Right. And so that's totally possible. And so one of the challenges and the reason why people don't understand or don't like the tax auctions is because they think they don't work. But we've made millions and millions and millions of dollars at the tax auctions. So do they work or not work? Right? The reason why most people dismiss the tax auctions is because the way they're approaching it. And
Right.
so how we approach it, see what happens is at the auction, the LA County auction is coming up, and there will be approximately 400 investors there. The entire
400?
county. 400.
That's it?
How many property there will be inventory?
There will be about 900. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less.
Okay.
This one we anticipate around 900, maybe 800 properties, right? So, but the problem is the majority of the people that go to the auction will walk away with nothing, and they'll dismiss it. The reason why is because 90% of the people that are there, they're all looking for the exact same thing. They're all looking for single-family home, duplex, triplex apartments, commercial building, lot, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And so the problem is if all they're doing is looking right here, then they miss out on all of the gold mines, and that's what we do. Is we look where
Nice.
everybody else isn't looking. And when we look at the single-family homes because the structures, we've been able to pick up incredible deals along those lines, but that's not our focus. Where the majority of people that go out there, that's their focus. Not on top of that, they're planning on getting it at a great deal. If 90% of the people at the auction are all focused on one thing, what is that going to do to the price?
Go up.
Go through the roof.
So you're saying there is also a portion of those listing won't get bid because people are not focusing on that. They don't care. So
Yeah, I'll explain to you how you can win big on the properties that nobody's even considered. Right. So the point is that with reference to with the auction, the majority of people are buying the same things. They drive the price through the roof. Oftentimes, people pay above retail for a property that is sight unseen. That's
Yeah.
stupid. But we see it all the time.
because they didn't do enough.
They get they
Or
just
emotion.
they get emotional. They get caught up in it. I want to get.
Oh, really?
And next thing you know, they're spending $400,000 on a property that's only worth $375,000. at best.
Shit. Stupid.
And they don't even know what's inside.
Wow.
That's scary. Right?
Yeah.
And so that's what our goal is to, while everybody's focused on this, we look at the stuff where we don't even have to. Our main focus is usually land, but we've picked up buildings as well, because when you have a building, oftentimes in order to realize your money, you have to fix it up. You have to pour more money into it.
Right.
Right? And so the downside, let's say you're in a situation where you've got $300,000 and you go to the auction. You can buy a single family home for $300,000 that you might be able to make 50 or 100 on. Or you could buy a $1.7 million lot for $300,000. Which one would give more value?
Shit.
So we focus on where's the big value. Again, that's an extreme example at 1.7. But what if you bought for $30,000 a lot worth $300,000? Right?
Still money.
And so people say, "Oh, I'm not interested in lots." It's like, why? Every house is on a lot. Every building is on a lot.
I just met recently a developer, a local developer here, and he's talking about his strategy about buying a lot, and then he know how to subdivide it,
Yep.
and then
Yeah,
he'll bump the value.
there's countless options.
After
If
you
you-
acquire that, right? If the location.
If you're willing to go down the path. Subdivision is not an easy process.
I
It's a
know.
little bit lengthy.
Yeah.
But it depends on the lot and it depends on the municipality, right?
Yeah.
But that's, we're not necessarily doing anything to the
Right,
lots.
right.
We're just
get the
selling,
first step, yeah.
And so if you buy it at 10 cents or 30 cents on the dollar, is it okay if you sell it at 60% of its value so that way you win and the person who buys it from you wins?
Right.
Yeah.
See, because if you buy it low enough, you can do that. And
Right.
that's ultimately what our goal is.
Buy low, sell low.
Right. Yeah, totally. And so if you buy a property at the auction, right, depends on, usually what I do, the first thing I do is I list it with a real estate agent. And then I start looking, okay, where are there developers that may want to buy this lot? Because when the economy is going good and everybody's working, that's fantastic. What happens when the economy goes south and all the contractors have no work? If they're smart, they're accumulating land when things are good. So when things go slow, they shift their attention onto their own properties that they have equity in, right? And they keep their guys working. That make sense?
Wait, can you repeat that? Sorry.
I said that if you're a contractor and you have a crew of guys working,
Okay.
and they're busy all the time, but what happens if there's no work? Do you let your
Oh.
guys go? Or wouldn't it be smart for you to have some properties that were ready to go to be developed?
That's true.
But in that sense, but it doesn't make too much sense is when the economy goes down, like last recession, and then they stop working. They don't work because if they
Smart.
work, if they finish it in 2 years, they don't I mean, the value of the property won't up to date. So
Smart contractors will always keep their people working, and they'll always be investing because they've got the labor, they've got everything. Right?
And those.
But again, that's I don't want to get off the point.
Right.
I'm just saying who is somebody that you can flip your lot to.
but that's a very also important part of like the timing wise, how you can get rid of it if there's next recession.
Well, you just have to be realistic. When you buy a property.
Oh yeah, as long as
know.
you have enough cushion in there,
Yeah,
you can.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're paying
That's
cash.
true.
You don't know anything on it. It's like it's free and clear, and
No
its value
mortgage,
is there.
nothing. Yeah.
Its value is there. Okay, so the way it works at the auction is literally, you downloaded the list.
Yeah.
Roughly 3,000 properties, and you get an APN number and a little bit of information, but that's it,
All the numbers, right?
right? And so what we do is we literally break down. Again, we normally have our presentation meetings at our office where you've got 10 binders that are all full of all the information on every property. It's available, right? And so the reason why people participate with us and buy with us is there's three main reasons. Number one is because we know what we're doing. And so if you partner with us and we go to the auction, guess what? You're part of our team. If you go to the auction and you're not with us, guess what?
You're not
out
part of
competition.
Oh,
Right.
People don't think about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
And so the gentleman that we work with, his name is Andre Desloges. He is a double master's degree from USC, business development, as real estate development and business, master's in business. And so super smart. This is the only mechanism that he has ever bought real estate in. Never bought retail, none of that. Only through the tax office.
Wow.
Right? Millions and millions of dollars.
yeah. I saw his computer.
Because he's mastered the system.
Yeah.
And if you've got a system that works, why would you change it?
Right.
And for us as investors, this happens. Each county has an auction once a year. So if you knew you could get wholesale properties once a year, and all you needed to do was just show up with money, and you knew you were going to be able to, get properties for pennies on the dollar, wouldn't you want that as part of your operation? That's it. And so we participate in the LA County auction, the San Bernardino County auction, and the Riverside County. All the other counties in the country have tax auctions as well. We don't participate in them just because we don't need to, right?
How about the Orange County?
Orange County. The problem with Orange County, in my experience, is that they tend to not have a lot of low-value properties. Everything is
Super high.
very high. It's a very affluent county. And again, it doesn't mean that there are no deals, but most deals, most people pay their taxes.
That's it.
So if the inventory, then it's limited. Make
Right.
sense? Because everybody wants Orange County. It's a great place, right? So, with reference to the auction, how that works is, our goal. We work together as a team, and everybody that participates with us, we all work together as a team. And this is the second element. The one is working with the team, but the second is there's an additional element, and that is if you want to participate at the auction, you have to give $5,000 to the county, and you sign a document. You sign a piece of paper, and it says, if the county screws up, I promise to give them back the property. How does that make you feel as an investor, knowing that there's a possibility you may have to give it back? Not so good, right? And so that's the one part of the law. And you realize we have incredible tax laws in this country, and those tax laws can work for you and they can work against you. In real estate, same tax laws, but they can work for you or against you. And so that's where the tax laws work against you. The properties that we're accumulating, that are coming up for auction, they're functioning. That's a function of the tax laws. And if they don't pay their taxes within 5 years, guess what? The county has the ability to take it. Now, when they take the property, do they care about the value of the property? No.
They don't care.
No, they're only interested in the back taxes. So they don't care what they sell it for, right? But the process is such where if they make a mistake, because of the law, they say, and they may have to give the property back, okay? But there's an additional part of that law that says if the purchaser sells the property to a bona fide purchaser, somebody else, then all sales are final. Okay? So when we're buying our properties, all of the properties, there's one entity, it's called ADAD. It registers at the auction. Each pays $5,000. Okay, gets a number. Okay, and then he says, yeah, if you guys screw up, I promise to give back the property. But he knows the other side of the law. And so we as investors, we all partner up. We form a joint venture agreement with ADAD, so that way all of our properties are bought through ADAD and then sold to us as bona fide purchasers. So all sales are final. How does that make you feel? Right? So that's the ultimate value that we offer. That's the second thing. The third is because you are buying, if you buy the property at the tax auction, okay, it's not considered a bona fide purchase. It's a purchase under duress. If you buy a foreclosure, it's not a bona fide purchase because it's under duress. But when you buy the property from someone who bought it at the auction, that is a bona fide purchase. So a $300,000 valued property is paying taxes on $300,000. But you can get it reduced, so you're only paying taxes on $30,000. You want to pay a lot in taxes or a little bit in taxes, right? So those are the three reasons.
I didn't quite get that 300,000 to 30,000 difference through buying through
The
a
value of the
company.
property is $300,000.
Yeah.
So its tax assessed value is $300,000.
Right.
But I bought it from ADAD,
Yeah.
and I only paid $30,000.
Oh, but what if you buy it directly from the county?
Then it stays at $300,000.
Really? Oh, even if you only paid 30,000.
Correct, because it's not a bona fide purchase; it's a purchase under duress.
And you tell us a little bit about the Roth IRA thing that you told me about.
Well,
Okay, yeah.
some individuals actually have Roth IRAs,
Yeah.
and they buy and sell all their real estate through their Roth IRA, which is a
Is it-
retirement plan.
Isn't that sort of like a self-directed IRA?
Self-directed Roth,
LLC?
self-directed Roth IRA. Correct.
Yeah, you have to also, it's a separate entity.
Correct. But Andre, and again, he can teach you this. Most of the properties that he buys through his self-directed Roth IRA, and he's made millions and millions of dollars tax-free because it's all post-tax.
Wow.
So again, there's lots of ins and outs that you can learn from us.
Right.
But the most important thing is that when you participate, you learn.
Right.
When you plug in, you learn. And again, you're a young man. You and I were a little bit older, and so. But every year we can participate in the auction,
And learn.
right?
And
learn.
make money.
And so the $2,900 that we invest, what it does is all the investors that are participating, we all throw in $2,900, and that pays for all of the research that's been done. Again, the books, everything's been printed out on all the properties, because when you get the list of the auction, is basically a list of numbers like this. Okay, that doesn't make sense. It's just the APN number.
Right, like on the website. Same thing.
Yeah. So you download it, but there's no description.
Oh, hey.
How
Mr.
are you doing?
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal, Steve.
Oh, no.
Hi, Steve. Nice to
This
meet
is my aerospace genius engineer.
you. Hi.
He owns ARC, Advanced Rockets Corporation.
If someone,
You can sit there, or you can
Or
sit
you
there.
can sit here. You can
If
sit there, yeah. Sit
if you
there.
sit there, you're not allowed to fall asleep.
that's a good
Consider
one.
the sleeping chair.
There you
This
go.
one, no, you won't fall asleep in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just explaining the tax auctions and how
Yes,
it works,
correct.
right?
Yeah.
So the county sends out a list, makes it available to everybody. You get your APN number. There might be an address, but that and how much taxes is owed, and that's it. Over 3,000 properties. So the process of going through and sorting out and finding out what's real, what's not. And a lot of the properties really have zero value, right?
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, if they're in the middle of nowhere,
Right.
and there's no development, again, you can always find a reason for it.
Right.
But again, that's not the direction that we're going.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you guys are capable of analyzing all those lists and
Everything.
having a book with all the details.
They have a huge
Correct.
team, yeah, that
What
does
we
the
ultimately
research.
do is we compile all the information. We have all these different binders.
Bunch of binders,
that have
bro, like
all
big
of the,
binders.
Wow, I'm interested.
all of the breakdowns on every property, comps, et cetera, et cetera. This is just an example from a previous auction.
Oh, okay.
And so, but it's got the plot maps and the comps and everything. That's just an example. It was from San Bernardino, right? But when we show up at the auction, we're given a spreadsheet like this. Now, the majority of people at the auction are there focused on maybe 5 or 10 properties, but they don't know about all the other value. But the way we go in, we've got a breakdown of everything. Descriptions. This isn't a great example because there was a lot of raw stuff. This is an example. Okay, So this is what the spreadsheet looks like. I'm not sure which one this was for, but the order in which they're going to be auctioned off, how much the value is. We give a coding number, which lets us know its personal value. If it's a rated number 4, it's really good. 5 is okay. 6 is not so good. 6
Oh, the lower the better.
the lower the better. Correct.
It's from the county.
No, this is us. This is based on us
Oh,
seeing the
you're
property.
analyzed.
We give us our own assessment,
Oh.
right? And so again, you look through the list quickly. If you're not familiar with a property, this one here is a 3.5, right? The value is $480,000. Minimum bid is $275,000, right? It was auctioned off once before at $37,000, right? So we break down so that way when you're at the auction, you're not in the dark.
So they're asking for 30,000, or they're asking for 270.
Minimum bid was $275,000 on that one. That's a house in Corona.
Oh,
right.
okay.
So,
it's
again-
not as
Example of the low price, like the land that you mentioned.
Well, no, it depends on how much money you have, right? So, but the point is I know that this coming auction, there's a $3 million property that you could buy for $700,000. Would you be interested? Make a quick $2.5 million, right? But you don't have $700,000. So, how many people do you think are going to be at the auction that have $700,000?
4.
Not too many. There's going to be a few people.
Unless they work as a team. And
Well, no,
like
there will be a few people that show up with
That's for them.
suitcases full of cash, right? But the point is that the more expensive it is, the less competition there is, right?
Yeah.
But the people that are looking for single-family homes, they're all there and they're looking for a great deal, and only one gets the house. Make sense?
Yeah.
Where there's been all this other opportunity, so we participate in that, but we just don't get consumed.
How do you determine the ultimate price of value of the property, and then you get the value of the property?
There's a
from
combination
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
You have your appraised, you have your assessed value, the
Right.
tax assessors. It's usually significantly lower than its actual value.
Right.
We jump online and we pull up the comps, through the real estate,
Yeah.
right? And every property is listed in there, right? And some have been sold. This one, for example, this was for sale for $275,000, right? But its value was $44,000. Its assessed value or its tax value was only $44,000.
Has there been any time when you guys give an assessed value and then eventually in the market it turns out that there was a disparity in the price, or you guys always on the
When
market?
we go see the property, that's
Correct.
part of the reason why we go see them is we can figure it out.
Oh, you see the target property prior to
Yes.
Yeah,
the
we drive.
Yeah, we drive.
Yeah,
makes
so
sense.
we as a team, we
Yeah.
go and see, and that's what this information reflects here. Is this information is a description of the property. Rent $2,700. Zillow has it at $540,000 value per square foot. Has a pool. Richard, Arena, and Evelyn and Martin went and saw that property. Right, so we know who went to see it.
Got it.
So we collect information because I can't go see every property. You
Right.
can't go see every property. But
So we
because
cover
you're-
our
because
areas.
you're included. There's some today. Andre's out looking at properties.
Really?
He's collecting information for you,
Nice.
and you didn't even know that you were going to be participating in the auction.
Wow.
Right?
That's amazing.
And so that's how it works. Okay, and so. In the real estate world, there's oftentimes what's called broker's fees, right? If you buy a property or sell a property, there's an agent and a broker
Yeah.
that's usually cut into the middle of the deal. Why do they make that money? What do they really do? They don't do that much, but they basically put themselves in the middle of the deal and they broker to make sure that all the paperwork is done, everything that needs to be done gets done. And so our operation, the way it works, so it's a win-win for everybody, is that there's a premium, there's a broker fee on top of it. It's not a broker's fee; it's more of like what we call a buyer's premium. Like when you go to the auction, they call it buyer's premium.
Right. The 5,000, right? Oh.
Yeah, or no, like when you buy a car at the auction, they tack on a little bit of fee.
Oh yeah, like the fees. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's called a buyer's premium. Something
Okay,
like that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is it 10% or something in
It's
a
like a
car auction?
I really don't remember.
It varies. It
Depends,
varies from
yeah,
auction house
different
to auction
place,
house,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the way ours works is it's a 25% broker fee. Okay, and so you may think, oh, that's really high, but you're buying properties at 1/10 of their value, so it's actually very small. And that's part of the reason why it's structured that way. Okay,
Got it.
so everybody throws in $2,900 and that gets access to it, and we're in the field. We're out looking. You get a chance you can spend as much time as you need or as much time as you can out in the field looking at properties, and with every property you look at, you're going to learn. Every property you're going to learn. How does the master value? Like, how did he come up with that? Oh, because if you look at like, aerospace, right? I don't know anything about aerospace, but you can look at something and you know about thrust and you know about lift and you know about all these different things and weight balance and it's like, but the average person, it's like, who cares, right? But this is something that we all should learn because real estate is part of every wealth portfolio.
How I know you guys might have covered this, but how did those properties get on the auction market?
It's because there are tax laws. The tax laws.
They didn't pay their taxes.
There are income tax laws. There are property tax laws. If people don't pay their property tax within 5 years, then by law the county can take the property.
Oh, wow.
They don't care about the value. They don't care about the value of the property. They only want the back taxes.
Right.
And so all of the properties, there is a starting bid, and that's the back taxes that are owed. And so when you're looking at it, you can figure out, oh, this is a single family home, $350,000. They owe $127,000. Chances are that's going to be auctioned off.
So everywhere from Azusa all the way to
All of the LA
County,
County,
all of it, yeah,
all
got
of
it.
Rancho Palos Verdes,
Yeah.
Beverly Hills,
There's so
Pacific
many
Palisades,
people.
they're all over. And what'll shock you is you'll think, why is that property being sold?
Right.
Wow.
That's not our job. Okay? The circumstances are what the circumstances are, and we're here to just take advantage of it, right?
Is that the one you talk about the book, or there's another book
Oh, no.
which was a lot more? Oh,
Big book.
Oh, this is just
Like-
a list of.
This
like,
is a final compilation list for
So you
auction
don't
in
bring that one to the
2017.
auction place. You bring this one to the auction.
We bring
Because
this,
it's a final.
and we bring the binders
Oh, awesome.
because if I haven't seen this property, I want to do research. I've got everything at my fingertips.
Got you.
okay.
Right? Some
Nice.
people go, "Oh, I just do it online." It's like, no.
No.
If we joined your team, would we have access to it? Because I
Yeah.
be able to do analytics. Able to run some of the numbers on.
Yeah,
using,
in theory
Yeah.
that works,
Right.
but in actuality it really doesn't because unfortunately the majority of these are moving targets.
Right. So
That's the problem.
Right.
Is we can spend money running analytics and time and that saying figuring out which is the best or which is most likely to, but the bottom line is we don't know.
Right.
And so we start off with the master list of 3,000. It was whittled down to about 1,400 when I started looking at it, and then now it's down to 900.
Wow.
Up until a week before the auction, people are paying off their taxes. Because if you could pay off your property taxes or have your property go to auction, which would be in your best interest?
Okay. So one more question: what's the housing market like? So I buy a property at auction, and then how long do I retain said property before I'm able to say I didn't intend to keep it?
You bought it to flip it.
Correct. Yeah. So
There's due process, so there's process attached with it, with you flipping it.
okay.
Number one, when properties are purchased at the auction,
Yeah.
there's about 30 to 60 days until they are deeded to the purchaser. That's because all the properties, all the paperwork is done, and then all of them are processed on the exact same day. Okay? So usually it's about 30 to 60 days, but they have 90 days by law to get it done.
Right.
Okay? So once that has been deeded, and Andre, it's deeded to ADAD,
Right.
then you submit your quitclaim deed. You can do it the next minute, the next
Right.
day, whenever. The sooner the better. And now the property is yours. Okay?
Okay.
You are the bona fide purchaser. Now, if you're going to try and sell it in the traditional marketplace, okay, you're going to want to run probably one of two processes. And this is in order to make it so that it's ready to go for sale. And one is called a quiet title.
Okay.
Quiet title is basically you pay a law firm or you pay somebody about $2,000 and they do research and they send off notices to anybody and everybody who could possibly have a claim on that property.
Got it.
Okay? And let them know that this property, and we're just kind of get anybody out that could cause problems for you down the road. And if nothing surfaces during the quiet title, then they're stamped, ready to go. Okay. Another is you can get what's
If
called.
there is something happen, somebody claimed it,
and then it will.
You basically, the lawyer just goes through the process and says you no longer have access to the property.
Oh, okay.
But it's all everything is anything that could come up is
to
already
come
on
up
the
within
surface.
it, right.
Has to come up within
Yeah.
that time frame.
Got it.
Right? And again, nothing is a bad situation. Okay? Because the law is now on your side. If you had bought it directly from the auction, you're going to get screwed. You're going to lose.
How's that?
Because it gets tied up in all the rigmarole, all the
Right.
legal stuff,
Right.
Because then they say, "Oh, the county didn't serve me," and they go, "Yes, we did," and so it's just again because you were talking about how quickly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if there's any legal problems, that just slows everything down.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you run quiet title or you get what's called a tax certificate, this is Tax Title Services. They issue what's called a tax certificate. Okay, and then once you have that, then the title houses have to process it.
So I do have one final question.
No, you don't. You have a lot of questions.
I said that because, anyways, so you guys serve as quote unquote middleman in some sense.
Yeah,
That's
we're admin and holding your hand.
right. So usually most businesses, when that's the case, so if I can scale a business, I could go to the bank and I could get a loan for $5 million or $10 million, and I can take on a risk because it's worth. The risk is worth it, and so I could go purchase all these properties and do this thing myself. Usually, when you have a middleman and they're trying to get other parties involved, there is a degree of risk involved, and usually and it's fine. We try in business, we try to pass on some of that risk to other investors. What's the potential risk for anyone who's coming in and wants to partner with you guys and do this with you?
Got it.
Yeah.
So with reference to getting access to a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
Okay. We ultimately work with investors
Okay.
who have their own money. Okay? You don't want to be financing
Yeah,
stuff
no
like
way, yeah.
just because you want every transaction to be swift, clean, and clear. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Okay. And you focus on the value. So with reference to that, I wouldn't be financing. I would stockpile money. I would pull together
Yeah.
your own collective, right? What's the risk involved is that if you pay, this is the only risk involved, is if you pay $2,900 to us and you do nothing.
Right. Well,
That's the only risk,
yeah.
because then you don't learn.
Right.
You don't. There's no value for what you put in, because the $2,900 that you put in goes towards that 25%
Right.
premium.
What-
right?
yeah, yeah.
So as long as you buy a property, you're going to get that's going to be allocated to it. Okay. And so one clarification is 25%. Sometimes go, that seems like a really high, but it's actually a floating, because if you buy a property below 50% of its value, then the premium is 25%. If you
Okay.
buy a property above 50%, it drops down to 10%.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
that's good.
it's,
I didn't
we're
know
not
that.
we're not
Right.
trying. We're looking to create a winning environment that the system is able to sustain itself, and so that everybody wins in the equation. Does that make sense? $100,000 property.
Yeah.
If you buy it below $50,000, let's
Yeah.
say you buy it for $30,000.
Yeah.
There's an additional roughly $7,000 on top of it, so the property costs you $37,000. You bought $100,000 for
Yeah.
37. So don't focus on the markup,
Right.
because all of your paperwork, everything that you need to learn, you're going to learn, and there's a cost associated with that.
Right.
And I think one thing is this is a one shot for every single time, or it's
Correct.
like a-
Correct.
okay.
Yeah, you're not buying into Club Med.
Oh, okay.
You know, where
It's
you
just
can-
one shot for one.
Each
time.
auction is standalone.
And then when did you guys start it? Like for this time, like when did they start releasing all? Oh, it's always changing, like you said, right? It started from
right,
3,000.
they're always
so-
being redeemed.
Okay.
Last Monday was the first day that I went out. Okay, to see property.
Because you don't want to go too soon.
We don't want to go
'cause, yeah, you don't
too
wanna
early,
change- yeah.
because again, you end up wasting your time.
Right.
But so what we do, and this is Nisala got a copy of this. This is how
I did?
I think you did.
I left mine
Okay.
because I thought you're not supposed to bring it.
God, well, maybe you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
So this is a Thomas guide,
funny.
okay? Thomas guide grid, and so this before GPS, this is how people got around. Okay, and so each one of these quadrants is a page, and so we break it down as to how many properties are on
Within the-
each page.
right.
Okay, and so the red are the developed properties, meaning houses or some type of development. The yellow is land, raw land. So this is the LA area. This is the Antelope Valley, Palmdale area.
And they have a bunch of these pages.
Those are doesn't look like a 800 or something you're talking about, or those are just the area, not each individual property.
There's 6 properties here.
Oh,
2
oh,
properties
the
here,
number is
5
just-
properties.
oh, okay.
That's how many properties
I
are
see, I
in
see.
that
Yeah.
in
Gotcha.
that
In that-
I saw
in
that's
that
the order,
box.
but it's just
no,
the number.
no, it's in the they're in
How
the
many?
quadrant.
Okay.
Right. So, and again, every day, there will be some coming off. But what
Just
we
like an auction.com, they have that new information too, right?
I'm not familiar with auction.com. The real estate auctions that we use are Bid for Assets and then Grant Street. Those are the ones for Riverside and San Bernardino. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, they're
There is platform.
Yeah, there's-
'cause
there's
I see
lots
they change
of-
all the time.
yeah, everything is developing.
I have
Yeah,
a
so-
important question. So, do we want more people involved with this team or less people? Because more people involved, more competition, right? What do you really
It's
think?
friendly competition.
Okay.
It's friendly competition.
Okay.
And what sometimes happens, which you can look at it as a bad thing or you can look at it as a good thing. I see it as a good thing, and that's where sometimes when there's a really good valued property, but you don't have enough money, so different people will partner up. I love the theory that 50% of something's better than 100% of nothing.
Right.
And that's how Al Sajace went in on this property. It was
Oh,
an
really?
80-acre property worth over $4 million, easily worth over $4 million, 80 acres. And they bought it for $125,000. There were 4 of them that
That
wanted.
is a steal.
How-
Yeah,
did they
it's a
sell
crazy
that?
steal.
Did they sell that one?
Well, there were 4 people that wanted to participate, and each one of them could have bought the thing outright.
Wow.
Yeah, but did they
rather
share?
than competing against each
They
other,
bought it
share.
together.
They said, let's keep the price as low as possible, and they
Nice.
shared, and each one of them threw in like 40 grand.
Beautiful.
So how long ago was it? Is that still in the
That's,
position?
that was
or
3
it's
years. 3
already
years
sold?
ago. 3 years
Did
ago.
they sold it?
One of the partners was
Allison
really,
Jace,
one
I
of
know
the
him. I
partners
met
was
him.
very aggressive in wanting to buy the others out, and he doubled their money. They put in 40, and he paid them like 80 or 90.
Okay. So he's
Not
still
a bad
holding
day.
on to it, or do you know?
I think he was holding on to it because it was a long term hold because it's a developer's dream.
Yeah.
It was 5 separate lots, 80 acres. You could easily build 5 multi-million-dollar homes and make a killing.
And Allison Jace was already in construction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody comes with their own stuff.
Right.
And if you aren't a contractor, you go find a friend and you go, "This is what I want to do. This is what I do."
Mm-hmm.
And then you build a massive portfolio of all
I
these
see.
properties, and then you figure out,
Yeah.
real estate development is what's the best land use.
Mm.
Is it apartment building or is it ranch? I don't know.
Or is it a mall?
Or is it a mall?
How long does it take for new people to learn all those information and figure out what they are?
Well, we started about 30 minutes ago, so I don't know how long does it take.
No, I'm talking about like looking to all those binders,
funny.
the property. That's what I mean, not like the basic stuff,
Where it begins is you make a decision that it makes enough sense that you want to learn this and you want to see firsthand. Right? That's where it begins, and then you just say, okay, and we go drive. And when you're driving,
Then you're
you're
learning.
in the car with Andre, and you're looking at the books, and you're seeing the properties, and you're going, okay, and you're hearing the conversation, right? If you're in a room full of aerospace guys, and they start talking their stuff, like my son's in the cannabis industry, and I've sat in on some of these meetings, it's like, there's crazy science behind this stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I just sit and I listen.
Right.
Because when you're hanging out with people that know stuff that's invaluable to you, then you
You just listen. Yeah.
And every now and then you ask a question, and we go to see a property and we look at it and we go, this is much better than we thought, or no, not what we thought.
Gotcha.
And we rank it accordingly, and we go to the next property, and we
Nice.
go to the next property, and we go to the next
Next
property.
property.
And then somebody says, I need to go to the bathroom.
But this sounds like, but
Let me get to that.
this sounds like
You're
it
good.
takes,
I
it's
like
very
this
time
guy.
consuming.
It can
So
be.
funny, dude.
It
Yeah,
can
it
be.
depends how many.
But making
property
millions
you're
of
targeting.
dollars in a month sometimes is time consuming,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, if the
So,
return is worth it.
Yeah, yeah. But
I know.
but
So this is also, in another short words, it's for the people who prepare for it and who determine.
that's an invitation. You're being invited to prepare, to play the game and play to win.
And this is a very
right.
very private invitation, right?
Yeah. You know, I
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I love Nasala,
Uh-huh.
and you know, and we met, and
Yeah, thank
and
you.
know, and God brings the right people into your life at the right times,
Right.
and you know, and if it's something that you guys can benefit from, then great. I mean,
Can
I'm
I
not
post
here
this video
I'm
on
not here to
Facebook?
sell, no.
Oh no, yeah, I know. Definitely for
I'm not
sure,
here to
yeah.
sell anybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
but
we're not,
there's
yeah.
going to be a ton of properties, and this is the sweet spot.
Right.
People don't get this. Is a lot of times they go to the auction. I'm looking for a specific property. I didn't get it. Oh, whatever. And all of the properties that are going to be auctioned off the 2-day auction. All of them are going to go. They're going to go through the entire list the first day. 800, 900 properties in a 5-hour period.
Yeah.
The auction.
The auction, yeah.
Oh.
Very quick.
Wow.
And they don't even say this is the Hermosa Beach property. I was thinking like that, you know?
Nope.
Oh, you went?
No. I was thinking before I met Steve and Andre. I was thinking, it's gonna be like,
Item
this is the
item
Hermosa
number
Beach property.
762. Who's bidding?
That's it. Item number 761. They're going once, going twice.
Oh, yeah,
like
only
that.
number. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. You have to do a
How are
research.
you gonna know?
Yeah.
You know?
No,
Right?
you have to do a research. You have to
Yeah.
prepare. It's not something like a teaching. They're not
Right.
going to teach you
And so,
Nothing, yeah.
no, that's not their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, they only want their job is to sell the properties at at the tax value. That's their job.
Interesting. How long you guys been doing this?
I've been working with Andre for about 8 years,
Oh.
and how we
Oh,
met. How we
I didn't
met is
even know
really
that.
important.
I thought it was 5.
No,
But-
no,
so
but-
it's 8,
but
so
about
that's
8 years.
even better,
It's been
yeah.
a long time.
Ah.
Last year, I really didn't do much because we were really busy with other stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, because it's sometimes you have cash and sometimes you don't.
Mm.
Sometimes your money's already working, and
Right.
it doesn't mean.
This is only for the cash, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
What is
only
the
buy it.
minimum you can invest?
Well, I mean, there's lots of different stories.
That's a good question.
And that's what I was getting to, is some friends of ours recently. My wife Linda recently sold a property. They bought it for $7,000. They each put in $3,500. They bought it for $7,000, and they recently sold it for $22,000.
Nice.
Right?
That's land?
Because it was just
So
land.
25% on that. Let's see. Yeah, that's not.
That was
bad.
including the
Yeah, it's like,
25%?
you know,
or?
Yeah,
We invest
yeah.
to make money.
Right.
If you're making 10% on your money,
Mm-hmm.
a year, in theory, that's supposed to be good.
Right, that's great, yeah.
15% is great. 25% is almost unheard of.
Right.
In certain areas like a crypto and certain things,
Yeah.
you can 1x, 10x, but that's
Too
Yeah.
risky. It's
you know,
volatile. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and real estate is more conservative. So if you
Yeah.
can double your money within a year or two,
That's awesome.
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And you tell the story.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then other friends of ours bought. There were 3 lots right next to each other, and they sold for $3,500 a piece. And then at the auction, and then they sold them for $35,000 each one of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But when you're looking at a lot, you gotta
I guess
assess.
it takes time to just assess what the potential value of said property would be as you go along. It takes time to get there, but you could get lucky
Well-
initially. But
Well, it's LA.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're buying property in LA City,
Right.
its value is through even if it's a freaking cliffside.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're buying land that's out in the middle of nowhere, out in Palm Desert, and that, not Palm Desert, but Palmdale area, it has value. There's agricultural value. There's some people want to live out there.
Yeah.
And that's where we oftentimes get like, well, I don't want to live out there. It's like,
Right.
no, you're not.
I go shooting all the
You're
time
not
in the
going to,
desert,
yeah.
and I see people who Lancaster, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what? The
And they
hell?
live out there,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
And so you can buy houses out there for significant. The houses out there will go much more likely, and they're rentals, they're flips, whatever you want them.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people say, "Oh, well, what if there's a tenant in the house?" It's like, that's a good thing. You structure a deal, right?
Yeah,
You don't have
you
to-
got tenant
right?
in place.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Yeah.
Right? You have an honest conversation with them and you figure it out. And there's countless stories. But what I
Oh,
was
so
getting-
those are all the research you're talking about. You have to find out yourself. During
well,
the
when
visit?
we go out and see when
Ah.
it's inhabited or not.
Right.
It's a shack with broken windows, or it's a house with 4 cars in the garage.
Right.
But what happens the first day? all the properties go through at their face value, whatever they're asking. Anything that doesn't sell the first day usually comes back the next day at 50%.
50% off.
That's where you get the deal, right?
Nice.
So
how do we go about it?
If we're not emotionally attached to any properties,
Yeah.
right, and they come up for auction the first day and nobody else is bidding,
You don't say nothing? Just chill.
in general, we're gonna.
Oh, just silence.
In general, we're gonna
That
sit
it.
quietly.
Yeah.
And next day is coming like 50%
The next
off.
day,
Oh.
as long as nobody's bidding,
Oh.
because if somebody starts to bid, then you're in the game.
Right.
But if nobody's bidding, because a lot of times
true.
they don't know that. The second day, the first day is like 400 people. The second day is about 87 people.
Wow.
Nobody's there, and you can just go.
Oh, second day's like 87
Yeah,
people?
like hardly anybody.
Really?
Hardly anybody. And they're usually there because there's one property.
Also, also most people they already got what they want.
Right.
Right? They didn't get
Correct.
what they want.
So
you
they
know?
If they
just
didn't
leave.
get what they
That's it.
want, they go home, or
Yeah.
they got what they want. They ran. They blew their wad, right?
Wow.
So that's you don't know that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so again,
Thanks to you, we now
I
know.
don't- Yeah, I don't want to be making any promises, but
Right.
it's like what
It's your experience.
yeah, and the way we summarize it is you're looking for the property that's looking for you.
You looking
Okay.
for me, looking for you,
I
looking
think
for
one of
me.
the most attractive parts for me is the fact that you guys only make money when we do, in the sense that said property has to be,
Yeah.
has to be sold.
Yeah,
and
and if there's good properties,
Yeah.
if you aren't buying them, Andre's going to buy them.
yeah,
Mm.
He's sitting on millions of dollars.
Oh, really?
And he always is buying property.
right.
And usually, how a lot of the real big wins go, he'll bid on a property and then he'll go, "Who wants in on this one?"
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, he's very generous.
Really?
That's it.
Yeah, I felt that.
He has hundreds and hundreds of properties that have incredible
Yeah,
value.
right.
I mean, he's got two massive.
I mean,
properties.
How long he's been doing this himself?
Since
20
1989.
27 years.
30 years. No, he said 1989.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been, yeah,
But
it's
he
been-
used to do that by himself.
30 years.
Just to not like a team
Since
up.
1989.
or
yeah,
not.
yeah.
I met him.
He started
Okay.
his master's thesis was on auction theory in real
Wow.
Oh,
estate.
he's a PhD.
No, not a
Master's
double
thesis.
master's.
His
degree.
master's thesis,
Double
is
master's
not
degree.
his doctorate. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, and no, but super smart.
Yeah.
Super smart.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he's a genius.
and if any
Very
legal
organized.
issue comes up as people are firing, it's like, oh, Qualamine versus so and so, all this different. Like he's got.
And he got his network. Like, if we need anything, like,
Yeah,
he could help us, right?
anything, Yeah, but like he says, when we're working together, you're indemnifying me. I'm not on the hook.
Right.
And so, but it's very serious
Right.
when you're bidding on the property.
Mm.
If you don't come through, he's on the hook for it,
Right.
and he can be banned from the auctions for 3 years.
For 5 years, isn't it?
Yeah, or forever. So
Yeah, forever,
it's-
yeah.
I mean, we're just looking for people,
And
with
they're
integrity.
risking
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
Like, if you bid on something that's 100,000 and we don't we don't really want it anymore, guess what? They have to go pay for it. Otherwise, he can't go
Is
to the
your
auction
other
again.
group or
Oh, wow.
whatever?
Yeah,
like
so we
in
gotta be
your
careful.
experience, they've done the same system, similar things like what you guys did, or you like as a group.
Yeah, Andre was doing it by himself, and and it's like whenever you do something that that's efficient, other people want to participate.
Right.
And
No, I'm saying like a.
Or there's
at the
somebody
auction,
like
there-
competition.
Yeah, did what you guys did,
Uh,
like
there
what you
are-
all see, also like a.
There
similar-
are some people that do it on a very small scale. Meaning
Andre's doing it at a
some
huge
of-
scale. Yeah.
Well, no,
Like-
he just does it.
E-
There are
efficient.
some guys that were introduced to his system,
Yeah.
and then they decided that they wanted to kind of go and do their own.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
it's friendly competition.
Yeah.
It's there's no real backstabbing.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And many times when there are big properties, if we all know we're gonna like that big Banning property they were talking about.
Yeah.
There were 3 big buyers, and rather than have all of them, they all wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than all of them driving the price up, they said, "This is what I want." Like, and usually, like those are the behind the scenes conversations.
yeah. Right.
If there's sizable properties,
Yeah.
and rather than them all driving the price up,
Yeah.
there were no bidders that I'll buy this one, I'll buy this one,
That-
I'll buy this
that
one. And they
actually
got a
sounds pretty
$21 million property
interesting.
for 1.1 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
How
and
much
it's
they,
actually
wait,
good.
how much they got it for?
1.1,
And how much was it worth?
21 million.
Wow. Bro, I mean, we
But
need,
that was
we need money.
the story that went that went south.
Oh,
That was the one that went south, right?
Right.
'Cause
Oh, it went
'cause
south.
one
Oh,
of
the
them-
one that you
one of
guys
them-
built.
One of them got
Oh.
greedy.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah. I had a deal.
And
on
how
this.
does that affect on the deal?
that doesn't affect us
Okay.
at all.
Mm.
That
Yeah, that was
only-
like their
that
internal
was-
Yeah.
yeah,
situation.
you know, and with everything you have to be thinking about your exit strategy,
Of course.
you know.
Yeah.
And you know, we bought some properties that are Lakeview properties down in Lake Elsinore, and that we're not trying to sell them.
Like Elsinore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you didn't sell it?
no, we're just
still have it?
Yeah, it cost us next to nothing.
And you guys have like a lake on it or something?
How
Yeah.
much
Like also
did
known
they
as,
already appreciate?
Nice.
I've lived there for
Because they
6
got
months.
water, man. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
water
yeah.
is.
I've lived there for 6 months.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
but well, all
Nice.
that area, you know, Menifee.
Yeah, I know there's a mobile home park.
In Lake Elsinore?
I bought my first car there. It broke down like in 2 months.
This is how we learn, right?
That's funny.
So
Awesome.
that's the benefit. Is the second day the properties are at half off, and Andre bought a condo in Compton for $2,800.
And the third day-
$2,800?
Yeah, which was worth $250,000. And then the next
Wow.
the next item that was sold was a smaller condo
Yeah.
in the same building, and it sold for $30,000 because they weren't paying attention. They were sleeping. So it's one of the things where if you're organized and you've got your stuff and
You
you're
could-
listening and you've done your
You got
homework,
focus.
and it's like where's
Yeah.
a good deal, and you kind of get an idea of it.
Nice.
You know, that's the value.
Nice.
And what I love about it is that every year there's a whole new inventory.
Nice.
And the Riverside and San Bernardino auctions, prices tend to be a little cheaper, so you can sometimes get more value. A lot of the investors, it's like they only want LA. You know?
I think also there's a good thing about here currently is the tax law. They're still they don't reassess it, right? Because if
What's
once they do
reassess?
that,
They
it
act-
wouldn't be.
Well, they actually do.
They do?
If you buy it, then usually whenever there's transaction, whenever
Oh, I
there's
know that.
ownership
I know
change,
that.
that's when they
I
look
know.
at things.
Right. But they don't appreciate like they don't reassess like some other states. Every
Okay.
couple 3
Right.
years.
Oh,
they
really?
do. Not here. Here is like only like a 1% or something every
Yeah.
year based on your purchase price. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so you got to take that into account, which is why I asked initially what the mean time for retaining those properties. One of the things you have to make a determination for is not just the value at which you get in it; it's how good the market is at the time, or at least how desirable the property is on
Sure.
the market.
Yeah, that's the research.
Yeah.
So
If you want some
once
water,
you know
there's
that-
water.
Yeah. But-
Yeah, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and we have lots of different types of people come through. We had some guys that were big in the cannabis industry, and they had a ton of cash, and they'd come and they'd drop 300, 400, 500.
That industry is
500.
quite comfortable.
Yeah.
I heard actually.
They bought avocado orchards
And then
Wow.
you were actually like kind of co-founder of this thing with. Oh no! Oh, you're a part of participating.
I'm just like you.
Oh,
Except
you're
what as I explained this to Nisala
Yeah.
is after you've been once you are familiar with the system, then you can like invite some people yourself. And I'm the official title is like manager. When we sign
Sign
the
contract,
joint venture
yeah.
agreement, I'm on as a manager, and you're on as a venturer.
Yeah. So he will be
Well,
our
every
manager.
year it will be a new LLC.
Yeah.
Every time you set up a new one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not like it's the one-time buy-in where you get it for the rest of your life. It's not.
No. I'm saying every year you set up a new LLC just for specific.
No.
Oh no, you already have an
Yeah.
LLC. Just
Right,
to,
A dad, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like dad. A dad. That's cool.
And so, when you're a manager, you've got, you can make a percentage off of whatever's sold, but I mean, you work,
Yeah,
It's,
for sure.
it's not like they're,
That's true.
Hello, Uncle.
So you're working and helping people. You're not doing it, but my job, if you guys come on board, my job is to help you be successful, help you find properties, and go out and see what we got. Right?
So you still live in Palm Springs?
I live in Desert Hot Springs now.
Oh.
Nice.
I was up here.
Manhattan,
and then
right?
It was in Lawndale.
Lawndale.
Because our daughter was in El Segundo High School.
Nice.
And we had our office here in Crenshaw. And
You still have the office there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you come over work every day or once?
No, it's a tax business, so we don't have to be here all the time.
But
So
once
like
you
8
need
weeks, 8 weeks out of the year, I have to be here.
Right.
Oh,
And I've got extensions. That
Yeah.
we're-
I met
we're
his
working
son.
with.
I know Steve for like
you just
longest
happen
time.
to be here today, or just come here? For
Yeah,
this?
yeah. I
Oh.
came into town the other day. But
Yeah.
it's because the auction's going on, and we came in and I'm working. We've met with a couple clients today,
Yeah.
and
And Steve is a great guy. I know him for like at least 5 years, huh? No, more than
more
that.
than that.
Then for
Since
every group
2013,
of
yeah.
people or whatever participate, like, are you guys like showing the stuff together, or every individual client or a team of client you will show them separately?
we all drive together as
Oh.
much as possible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that way we're collecting information
Together and learning together.
And then on the
This one?
no, not that the other bigger one.
You could stay there.
Where'd it go? Did you steal it?
No, I didn't steal it. I don't steal.
We never let leave.
Here it is. See, in here, in the notes, it says who actually.
Yeah,
saw
you
the
mentioned
property.
it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
So, and that way we can keep track of them. And if somebody's interested in a property, and then you go and you speak to, James Park, and you say, "Hey, James, what did you think about this property?" "Oh, it was good," and blah blah blah. And then they give you firsthand information. Make sense? Yeah. And you
So
take-
how
you
many
take your
people
pictures.
are in your team right now as sort of like a managing or doing all this?
Right now, I only have one investor that's on board with us for this auction.
Oh, but no, I'm saying like then besides that
You're talking about how many managers? Yeah, like you're a manager for ADAD, right?
Yeah. How
So-
many people are really doing all those work, like, or just you two
Well,
doing all those work?
Did you meet Inga? No, Inga wasn't there. Inga
I didn't meet
is
Inga.
Andre's life partner, and that she's a real estate agent, so she does the same thing,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And but very few. It just depends. Like,
Nice.
Like I haven't participated in auctions for the last year. I didn't do any of them.
Okay.
So you don't do it, then you don't have any profit.
Yeah,
Or-
no.
Right.
And it's more of, do I have cash?
Right.
Do I have time?
Mm.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
is it worth clearing some time right now?
For that.
And so
yeah.
usually it's if we have people telling us, "Hey, I want to be involved in the auction. I want to be involved in the auction," like the
Like
gal,
I did.
Yeah, like the gal who registered, who's been out looking at properties. She's bought properties at the auction, dissatisfied with doing it herself
Oh, really?
because she ended up buying properties that were marginal at best.
Oh, of course, yeah, it happens. Yeah.
And it's like,
They don't
so it's
know
like,
enough.
how do I increase my odds to get
Mm.
better quality? And so when we said, okay, this is what we do, and it's like,
Oh.
especially your first time through,
Right.
Once you're, then you get to figure out
Whatever you
does
want
it
to
make
do.
sense,
Yeah.
does it not make sense? Like Alisa Jace, I think he's only participated in the one auction.
And then
maybe
now
two.
is he doing it on his own or?
No, I don't know.
Okay. All right.
It's when
It's
you're
whatever, yeah.
when you're an investor, it's
Yeah.
like there's
All different,
there's
yeah.
always
Like there's also I recently know about the note stuff,
Note
like,
stuff.
like a notes,
Yeah.
right? There's I don't know too much. I literally just hear some people talking about.
Oh, like
that, but,
contracts?
no,
no, it's first and second mortgages.
yeah, delinquency.
Oh,
Whatever.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know about those.
Yeah, like I just kind of quickly mentioned because I
Well,
yeah.
one angle that people do with the auction is it's what's called overage proceeds. Overage proceeds. If I have a house and there's $30,000 taxes owed on it, and it goes to auction, this is where it's not a lose if people lose their homes, right? And the home sells for $400,000, and I owed 30. The county only takes 30, and you get $370,000 for your house.
Yeah.
If you know how to file for the overage proceeds, because that money doesn't belong to the county; it belongs to you, the homeowner. They're only after the that, right?
Oh, you mean in the same auction?
Yeah.
The owner does have that right.
Every property that sells for more than the taxes owed,
Okay.
there's overage proceeds, and the owner can file and
That's good
get
to
those
know.
back.
In case I don't
Yeah.
pay for it.
Yeah, no. Well, one of my buddies,
Yeah.
he had a property, it had clouded title. It was just real
What is it called? Clouded title?
clouded title.
What does that
Meaning
mean?
Along the way, somebody put themselves on the title and they had no right to be on there.
Wow.
And couldn't get it off. They would never sign off on it. So it was what's
Whoa.
called a clouded title.
Okay.
And that's really in real estate. That's what
That's
you're looking
it's
for.
not
You're
good,
looking
huh?
to make sure that the title is clear.
clean.
Nobody else has claim to it.
Got you.
And so he couldn't do anything with it. He couldn't refinance it.
Nothing.
He couldn't sell it. He couldn't do anything.
Wow.
And so he said, "I'm just going
He
to let
couldn't
it.
find that person either.
I'm going to let it just go to." The, well, no, they were a scammer.
Oh,
They were scammers.
wow.
It was part of their deal, and they were actually squatting in the house for a while. I don't know all the deals.
Yeah.
But he met with us about letting the property go to auction. Because if it goes to auction, it would be a new deed. All the title would be cleared out.
And no
right?
mortgages.
No mortgage, right? But I said, if that property goes, it's going to sell at market value, not based on the back taxes.
Oh, really?
So you're going to have to buy your own house.
That's not good.
I said, and you don't know what that price is going to be.
Right.
I said, that's not good,
Right.
right? So,
Yeah.
but nonetheless,
Man, I really appreciate you coming out here and sharing all this information with us, Steve.
yeah, no, there's
And I'm
no-
going to be a part of this auction.
Yeah,
I
good,
guarantee
that's
it.
fine.
And I have a question about the 2900.
Yeah.
That's for one time, or we can.
Yeah, that's
if
one
we don't
time.
do this year, we can go to the next year.
Nope, that's one time.
Oh, one
Because there's money spent on pulling all the research together.
Oh.
And
For
that's,
this
that's
auction.
what it goes to. That's,
Right.
that's
But
what it
that
goes to.
means the more people participate, the more like that fund will be for the research. But I think it's also I think that also towards, you know, I think it makes sense, yeah, because every individual will also cost. It's kind of like educational, you know, because
Yeah.
you're learning,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
yeah.
But
you know.
but just as in education, there's a profit center. You know, it allows Andre to. He doesn't have to do this,
Right.
But
Yeah,
he
yeah.
makes money sharing his
Right.
knowledge
Right,
and,
right,
and
right.
being
And he
an
enjoys it,
advisor
yeah.
and- yeah, and that's what he
Like a
does. Like
student.
he says, he does 3 auctions and he goes on vacation.
Right. Nice.
And if he's not,
And he's
preparing for
traveled
an
all
auction,
around the world.
he
I've
just-
seen
yeah.
you
his
talk
pictures.
about every year street auction or
Yeah.
every 3 year?
No, every year, like
Oh.
LA County, Riverside, and San.
Oh.
Those are the ones that we
That he-
participate in.
that's
Yeah.
it. Everything
And if
else.
there
he
isn't
don't-
an auction being prepared, he's out of the country,
Yeah.
somewhere anywhere.
I have a question. So in terms of us, right? Can't we are three, 4 of us right here, and let's say me and my dad is like one person, right?
Yeah.
3 of us right here. So can us 3 come up with the 2900 and work with you guys?
Yeah, you could pool your resources, but all of the properties that you buy would have to be through that entity.
Got it.
Okay.
So if it's like, or we got to be just one person's name that we agree on, or
Also, we can have also our own LLC, then purchase
through you guys.
a-
Exactly.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
That's
if
what
you-
we were talking
However
about. Yeah.
you want your title to be
Oh,
issued,
okay.
Got you.
but for the integrity of the situation,
Right.
Because we've had people that kind of proposed that,
Okay.
and then next thing you know, one person's I'm buying this property and I'm buying this property, and it's just
Oh, they're not.
and they're
doesn't
and,
have
And
a-
then you guys
there
are
was
confused,
no
yeah.
cohesiveness
Yeah,
to their
yeah.
group. It was just
Yeah.
how can we
Yeah,
scan
that's
it,
not
right?
good.
That's
Yeah.
also a very important that people, if they're on the same page.
Yeah, integrity is
Absolutely, yeah.
important. You know,
Very
and-
important.
And there
Landmark
have,
graduate.
there have been people that come and collect all the information. Say, I'm going to buy all these properties, and they get the information, and then they
Go on.
farm the information to somebody else
Wow.
who buys the properties.
That's
So
sad.
yeah, so it's
Yeah.
schemers will always be scheming, and we
That sucks,
we
man.
do our best to just make sure that everybody is above board.
Let's say if we come like a group, and we paying like 2,900, one of the person going to buy one property or another one going to buy another property.
You can-
at
you-
that time we have to pay like 2,900. Like
No.
Well, it
No,
depends
you-
on depends on what Andre
Wanna
recommends.
do,
No, I
Yeah.
think he already mentioned as long as we come. I think
As
that's why
together.
I said it's set up at LLC because we all purchase
Yeah.
through under the LLC. But that comes the thing, you know, because that property's title will tied up with that LLC, and then we all three or four will be a manager or a
Right,
member under
members.
the LLC.
Got you. Yeah.
So that's really depends how we negotiate, how we really decide,
Yeah, in order
how
to,
we work together. It's like a separate thing because we're
Right.
saving that 2,900, and
yeah, if you and like I mentioned,
And
to
anyway,
Ms.
that 2,900 going to be deductible from the
yeah, from the 25%.
25%.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's going to be applied.
Right.
As long
Whichever,
as you buy,
yeah.
as long as you buy a property,
Property.
something, it's going to go towards something.
Yeah.
And if you
So-
don't buy a property, we get to learn from Mr. Steven and Andre, and it's going to be
You're-
an awesome
you're in,
time.
You're in the middle of it, and
Yeah.
holy
No,
shit.
the thing is, if we have to try to buy a property.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh yeah, if you go, no,
Yeah.
the
You-
initial
Well,
goal
and you-
is
and
you're trying
you
to buy. You're
will.
not paying
And
that.
you will.
And you will.
You will,
Yeah.
and you
it's
go.
impossible for you
Yeah.
to
It's
not
because
walk
they
away
haven't
with
gone.
something.
No,
Right.
My goal is, at least if you have 10,000 cash,
Yeah.
we can get something, right?
Yeah.
What,
Guaranteed.
10,000? Oh, because some
Yeah,
lands are
because
really cheap.
You have to
Yeah.
have the cash.
Smaller
Yeah,
lots.
you got to come with cash, and you got to come with cashier's checks or something.
But yeah, that's you can bring cash.
Okay. Oh,
you know.
oh, you can buy
cashier's
okay.
checks is just for insurance policy, like first, like
Oh, what
if
do
you
you
don't
mean?
want. Well, some people literally show up with
Cash?
with suitcases full of cash.
But
Oh.
what is
But
what
the
is
best
what's
way,
the insurance
the safest
policy?
way? No, the safest way is to bring in, cashier's checks for $5,000
Oh, okay.
For what? For how? What?
for the property.
Cashier check? How much you said?
$5,000
Oh, okay.
because the
That's
cashier's
good.
check, if you pay with a cashier's check, then they can give you cash back in change.
Right. Right.
Things like that. So
Thank you.
And it's-
Oh,
and
they
you-
give you a change for the
yeah,
cashier's check. Okay.
yeah, and you don't, because you're not running around with pockets full of cash.
And then if somebody tried to jack you, you could
But
call the
cashier
bank
checks
and
you have
cancel
to-
it.
Have to write for the county or?
Right there, yeah, LA County tax assessor.
Oh,
Right. Insurance asking like if somebody jacked the cashier's check, you could cancel it or something. Or
Yeah, just
That's what it
just
is,
safety,
yeah.
like traveler's checks or
Got you.
whatever.
Got you.
know,
Got you.
like,
Got you. Got
You
you.
know, if you're walking around with cash and all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's like, where'd it go?
Yeah.
That make sense?
yeah, have to figure out what are the properties we can buy like under 10,000 with the 2,900 and
Well, I
25%
wouldn't-
everything together.
I would, talk
And we
to
can
us-
still tag along and drive
Yeah,
along and
yeah.
look at the properties.
go and
because,
go and
you know,
see, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Do your due diligence.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
you're,
the
you're
term,
you know,
due
just be a
diligence.
student. you
Just
know?
be a
When
student
you're a
because they
student-
already done the due diligence.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But you're just like a double check. Yeah.
Yeah.
and there may be an opportunity to jump on board with, participate in another bigger
Yeah,
property.
because we
Right.
don't have like.
Oh, I see.
100,000 or
So you guys do
700,000
like?
money, right?
Can you explain that a
yeah,
little bit?
sometimes there are collectives that are created, which is if there's a property for $70,000
Mhm.
and that its value is through the roof,
Mm.
and everybody will kind of throw in
Oh, okay.
whatever their percentage is. and
Okay.
you try and make
That's
you,
cool.
You make your percentages equal.
Nice,
Right? Again, going
nice.
back to the 50% of something's better than 100% of nothing.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then you just figure out.
That's when
You
you,
know,
can
just-
invest that money to.
Yeah,
But
the downside to partnerships that are with people that you don't know is
Yeah.
you don't know what their long-term goals are.
Right.
So you try and structure, I just want to make some money. I'm not emotionally attached to the project. So if I threw in 10 grand. If you give me 17 grand, I'll be happy. Or I put in 30 grand. If you give me 60, like Alsa Jace,
Yeah.
he doesn't own that property. He put in 40, and he ended up getting I think 90,000 back.
Really?
So
Okay.
he doubled his money.
That's cool.
That's a good day.
Yeah.
He didn't make the millions, but
Right.
in order to make millions, there's more.
You need to
effort
put
that
more
goes
money.
into it.
Yeah. Right.
There's money and effort and all of that goes into it. But this is
And also, I think you also need to know your exit strategy.
Right,
not
and
just
that's it.
like a
That's what I was gonna
purchase.
say.
It's not like once you get it, oh, I have everything.
Mm.
Yeah.
well, and you never know. You may not know. You may have multiple exit strategies because
Yeah.
you
Oh,
don't
of
know.
course. Yeah. Different plan. Yeah.
But if you start interacting with contractors, people who do ground up construction,
And
you can partner up with them. You say, look, I've got a lot. You handle the construction. We split the profits.
right. And then about refinancing the property. Let's say you get a property and you want to refinance. He said about title insurance, right?
Yeah, refinancing.
I mean, not refinance. I'm sorry, like getting a mortgage on it.
Yeah. large pieces of property, $300,000,
Okay.
$400,000, $500,000. If you have a business plan in order to develop it, then
Okay.
you can occasionally get a mortgage.
But if it was like a home there, then you could.
Oh yeah, yeah. If there's a structure on it, then you can definitely be fine.
Nice, nice. With the title insurance.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
Steve, thank
Who
you
wants
so
to
much.
play?
We want to play.
Yeah.
Just hear it today, so second time hear it, so need time to digest a little
Digest it, okay.
Right, but
bit. But it's always good
Can
to
I?
know what's out
Is it
there.
okay for me to give this video to these gentlemen, or
Yeah,
what do you- is
that's
that
fine,
okay?
yeah.
Okay. I'll give it to my brother and the 2 other people that were supposed to
yeah,
be
just it's not for circulation. So
here. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just information, and
Yeah.
after you got it, then discard it.
Yeah.
I
Thank
don't
you.
want to be held
I'll,
liable.
do you
for
want me to
it.
send it to you also, if you want to see it?
I don't have enough memory on my phone.
I mean, it will be on the cloud, so you could watch it without.
okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, if somebody needs
You
it,
don't, you don't, you don't have Google Photos? It's
I have no idea
unlimited.
what you're talking about.
Okay, all right, yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Like, one has to be interested in photographs in order to have Google Photos, right?
Right. I mean,
I'm
you could
very-
upload all
I'm
of your
very
pictures.
anti-social media.
Okay.
It's
I'm
not
a-
Google Doc you're talking about. There's
Google
another
Photos
one.
have
Nothing wrong with
unlimited
I
uploading.
used to
Really?
use it as a tool, but it's
Yeah.
just gotten so
But is that a private cloud or
Out
it's
of-
open source?
all out of focus.
It's a private
There's
cloud.
So much
Wow,
BS.
unlimited.
Google,
Wow.
Google, yeah.
Alrighty.
Awesome.
Thank you, Steve.
Good.
I really
No, but
appreciate
it's-
everything.
But it's real and big money is made.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
speak,
but a lot of people they don't know these things.
they don't
right?
know the
Even
the
they
behind the
know.
scenes.
My feeling is like there's also, even if you know that, people won't like be that
It's too good to
serious,
be
you
true for
know,
some
like,
people, is
Not
that
too
what-
good. It's
Even
like
though the real estate people they don't know either.
No, real estate people they fall into the category of they think they know everything.
Right.
Oh, that's.
oh yeah, believe
Yeah.
me, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, and so I mean, how I interview. I mean, if I'm having a realtor, and my question is, well, how many properties do you own?
Right.
If they don't own properties,
They don't know
the
shit.
because
Yeah.
they're not investors. They don't think like
Yeah,
investors.
they're not.
They're brokers, if you like.
They're just paper pushers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so
They don't really think
and
outside of the box.
And the other value with sitting in this, even though you don't have a lot of money,
Mm.
is when you see somebody buy a $300,000 property for $38,000, you go, okay, I got to start saving,
I need to start saving money.
right?
How did
Yeah.
you start this, by the way?
That's the thing.
How did you start this?
Me?
Like,
Well, it was I went to it was a Millionaire Mind Intensive.
Okay.
T. Harv Eker.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, the guy that we heard speak, Tim Payne, who was there at with Grant Cardone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tim Payne.
Was
I
that the
love-
bald guy, the tall guy?
No.
Oh,
Grant-
Tim.
Oh, the old
Canadian,
guy.
The
right?
Canadian guy.
Oh, the
Canadian,
Canadian.
yeah,
Oh,
Canadian.
oh, that was
We
cool.
Love him.
I love
He's
that
one of my
guy.
favorite-
Also, you met him like
I
in
met
an
him
event.
several years ago. Almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
And he was pitching tax auctions. and stuff like that.
Really?
Oh, okay.
And so I ended up buying the course and didn't really plug in much, but got it.
Ah.
And then I was in Australia building ACN. And,
Yeah, yeah.
And he
Under
says,
with
there's
Brian
a tax
Sachs.
auction coming up in Pomona. Should I go? I said, yeah, absolutely go. Go collect information. Go see.
Wow.
Who said who?
Linda's
You-
my wife.
Oh.
And so she went, and when she went to the auction, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So she just kind of sat in the back,
Yeah.
and she saw all these people. And
I
some
want to
people
also
buying.
go once.
Yeah,
just
no,
sit in
we're
the
gonna
back
go to
just
this one.
To
And she
look
saw
at.
Andre's
No, we're
group
gonna
in the
go to
back,
this one.
and they were buying property after property after property after property after property after property. And it's like, who are these guys?
Yeah, right.
And that's what happened.
Oh, then
There
she
also
just went
might
and
be
talked to her.
wholesaler there, right? So after they acquire that, they can. Well, it depends if it's.
There's anybody and everybody, and
Uh-huh.
and as we
Yeah.
know, everybody's always selling something.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
So
you're gonna
they're
buy
either
and
going to be
sell.
trying to sell their services, or I got properties, or I can auction them off for you, or whatever, and everybody's trying to get their angle, and,
Sure.
and the bottom line is we just go in there and we don't really know.
Focus
we're
on
gonna
what
get.
you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steve, you said, let's say, I mean, we are gonna do it, but let's say somebody don't have the money right now to work with you guys, right? you said you don't need to pay the 5,000 to come show up at the auction, right?
Anybody can go. It's
And you
free.
could
Oh,
experience that.
it's just Regis said.
You
Right.
just have to
If
pay
you
for
don't
parking.
pay the 5,000, you cannot have the
Yeah,
card.
yeah.
Right.
And you cannot.
Yeah,
Right, so we could
participate.
still
Yeah,
go
but you
experience
You
and
can just
learn.
sit there, just like
Yeah.
play.
No,
I want to
that's-
be there.
Bring
one
all
day.
the kids. Bring your 10 kids there. Just play.
That's what Linda did. She went and she sat in the back and she's like, "You're taking it all in.
Right.
It's overwhelming." It's like,
Right.
holy shit. And but she saw them buying property after property after property after.
Wow.
Did the
property.
Pomona one already
Yeah.
ended?
No, that's what this is. Come on.
Oh, right, it's Pomona.
And he
yeah.
had property
I
in
live
Pomona.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
He's like, I'm
Well,
so sorry.
I don't own anything.
No.
Yeah.
There's lots of property in Pomona to buy.
Yeah.
At
For
the
what?
auction.
For auction, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you-
that's
you-
good.
You can own Pomona
You could own all Pomona.
if you want.
He's funny.
Yeah. No, there's definitely some properties out in Pomona.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
I really like the one in San Pedro, and I wanted to look at the one in Redondo. You know.
Oh,
I didn't-
so
I didn't-
also
Linda's
yeah,
got
you
those
target
addresses,
the
so.
property, right?
Hmm?
Linda's got those addresses. So.
Yeah,
But I got
nice.
a boogaloo. Okay. So
Thank
if
you.
you guys want to participate, the auction, the agreement. I know it's this one because my son got a hold of it. So these two, this is what the agreement is. It
Yeah.
just and but again, it's serious.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
we all. If everybody has integrity going in,
Yes.
then there's no issues.
Right.
But it's when people are trying to cut
Screw other
corners
people,
and
yeah.
screw other people. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a
But
copy of
Andres-
that.
Okay.
And then this is the
Law, tax
Yeah.
law, right?
when a tax deed to a purchase of the property is sold by the tax collector pursuant, it is recorded and determined that the property should not have been sold. The sale may be rescinded by the Board of Supervisors with written consent of the county legal advisor, and the purchaser of the property or successor, except a bona fide purchaser for value under any of the following circumstances.
And that's the legal side that
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
mentioning, yeah.
And then you're talking about the situation if they took it back, are they giving your money back?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they'll give you your money
Oh,
back.
you just
Yeah,
got
yeah,
But the
yeah.
point is you go to the auction.
Yeah,
I
all the
pay the
energy,
money.
yeah.
I'm excited.
Right.
What? You want it back, and they could be anytime within the next 12
And but
months.
we using this,
Yeah,
we could
I
avoid
got
that.
another part, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
saying, yeah. But we didn't get. I didn't get part. If they took it back, then
Yeah.
my money is gone.
Right.
They just took it.
Right.
That's the worst day
No,
you
right,
ever
right,
happen. Yeah.
right.
no.
That's the car auction. No.
Right.
That is,
Yeah.
you know,
But also, again, all the effort is wasted. So
that
that's not gonna be
alone,
something.
Yeah.
when you really understand how powerful that is, that alone
It's huge.
is worth the
2,900. Yeah,
$2,900.
yeah.
But bona fide, that definition is like. But also, yeah, a lot of people
As
wouldn't
an
pay that.
actual purchaser,
Mhm.
exchange for money.
Mm.
That and if you're selling a property, then you need to be selling it for more than you bought it for. So a
Oh,
little bit more.
which is the 25,000. I mean the 25%.
That's something insignificant.
Oh, okay, okay.
But that's what makes a bona fide sale.
Got you.
Because giving it to your brother,
That won't
you
work.
can't be a relative. You can't
Oh,
like if they
yeah.
want to look at it,
Right.
it has to be a like,
It got to be like an entity to a person or something, which is what we're doing.
And I didn't hear the other part is like you participated about 8 years ago by yourself, and then you just met the person who you.
No.
Oh.
I've only done it with Andre.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Linda went
Yeah.
and she saw what was going on.
And then she
collected
noticed
information,
Andre.
And she said, "Hey, I met this guy at the auction." I said, "When I
Mhm.
get back in town, we'll."
Oh,
we'll-
she met
we'll meet up."
him. at
Yeah.
the auction.
She just went to
She
check
went
it
to the
out.
auction as an observer.
But that's actually the best outcome,
Right.
right?
Right. Well, and you know,
Because
in
imagine
life,
if
in life,
okay.
imagine Grant Cardone was your friend.
Yeah.
Could he open doors for you?
Oh, imagine Ma Yun is my friend or something.
What if he was just your
Or I know
neighbor,
she or
right?
something,
And
yeah.
you didn't meet him, and he was just some guy.
Mhm.
Right.
See, what happens is that there are so many people out there that can bring so much value to your life if you just happen to meet them.
Right.
Of course.
That's who I am, right?
Mhm.
That's who Nisala is, and I think that's who you are.
Right.
Is like we're contributors. We bring value to people's lives. If you come into my life, I'm going to do everything in my power
Absolutely.
to make your life better.
In the
Right.
in the convention,
Yeah.
I just also talking to one of the mentor
Yeah.
in like a multi-family space, you
Yeah.
know, and so funny. like between the conversation, he mentioned a words about time sucker.
Time suckers?
Yeah.
So people-
Assholes?
Yeah.
Darren
You know
Hardy
the
said
word?
assholes.
Right.
You ask stuff and it goes into a black hole. They don't do nothing with it. It's an asshole.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I took action. Like when I told people,
They just ask questions.
After I learned about like a multifamily in 2 months, I invest to deal, like, so they're.
How do I learn? Be an investor. Put your money in.
My dad's like, what is he doing?
Get the story. Right?
Okay.
Awesome.
Man, I love you, bro.
That's
Thank you
how-
for
that's how
coming.
you win.
Yeah.
Good.
And once you're in, then you go, okay, I got it. And
This
you
is the
either go-
man right here. Dude, we're making history right now.
And you go either I won
No,
big
it's one
or
part
I
of the
learned a hell of a
history.
lot.
It's one part of the
There's
history.
all
I'm
different
gonna win.
aspects.
That's it.
right?
That's
Right?
it. That's
Because
it.
it's
Yeah,
the only time you lose is if you do nothing with the information.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Thank you.
And that's not our goal.
cool.
So, alrighty.
Thank you, sir.
And here's my card.
Yeah,
I got
please.
it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it.
This is my one of our fintech companies. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
Can I hear that card?
I have both.
I have it.
Okay.
Remember we got it at
Yep, I
the
remember.
real
Also,
estate.
I give you mine as well.
I do. I have your card. It's sitting on the
Okay.
That's why I called you Yaki. Because I knew it was unique and I knew there was a Y in there, right?
Oh.
Okay, Yaki.
You're going to.
You're artist.
No, I just you're gonna.
That's
draw.
your painting?
Yes, that it's not a painting. I use the Photoshop or whatever.
Oh, nice. Impressive.
All right, guys.
San Francisco.
So
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
Just
He's
get
not
back
going,
to
so
me.
we can give
Let
it
me
back
know
and
what
go.
you guys really think. Let's
Who's
put
not
it together. Let's
Alright.
He does
create a
not
little
know.
LLC and work with Steve
You didn't
and
tell
his
me.
business partner at ADAD, and
You didn't
let's
tell
make
me
some
that.
money.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I love you guys.
Okay,
Bye.
yeah.
if you want-
Did I see you last time?
Bye bye.
No.